Alright, here are 8 more epic champs worthy of a second look in Raid Shadow Legends. Let me tell you something, this is like video number 6 or something in this series. We've covered a lot of epics already, all of which are going to be pasted down below in the video description, so if you want to check out the list so far, that is the place to be. It also means that we are scraping the bottom of the barrel just a little bit, but then again, not really. It just turns out there's a lot of epic champs that can do a hell of a lot for you on this game, and I personally cannot believe that we've not yet covered good old school Skull Crusher. So Skull Crusher is the only non-legendary champion in the game that has a counter attack on everybody style buff. It's all about the A2 man. Place an ally protection buff, strong version on all allies except this champ for 2 turns, and place counter attack on all allies except this champ for another 2 turns. He also gets an unkillable buff for a turn as well. This is bookable down to a 3 turn, which translates to just a permanent counter attack buff across your entire team. Are you kidding me? This is exceptionally good. Skull Crusher could be the difference maker in clan boss teams that just need to pump damage quickly, right? Because even in an unkillable or block damage style clan boss team, you've still only really got 50 turns to get the job done. And so if you look at it as maximize your damage, Skull Crusher can be your guy, just giving your team the ability to constantly keep on swinging in with those A1s, especially if everybody on your team has the War Master passive. The damage just ramps up extremely quickly. Of course, also counterattack against the likes of Fire Knight is going to do a hell of a lot as well. Every time the Fire Knight swings in and refreshes his shield stacks, your entire team is going to counterattack in and, I don't know, probably burn down like half or more of the shield stacks against Fire Knight instantly. So that's good old Skull Crusher, man. How the hell did we not cover this guy? I mean, even his passive is solid, dude. The passive decreased the duration of all debuffs on this champion, all debuffs, by 1 turn at the start of each turn. Like, dude, what the hell is this, man? And hey, man, there is a slew of events going on in Raid right now, of course, for the new fusion. So if you haven't already, make sure to go ahead and use the promo code GAMELEAP to get yourself a free energy refill, as well as 10 experience brews and 100,000 silver. And if you've already used this code, share it with your clanmates, spread the love. It also helps to support the channel as well. So hell, the best way you can help support me and say cheers for this video if you're enjoying what you see is by sharing this promo code around your buddies. Next up, something of a slept-on lizard man. Dude, good old Quargan. When was this guy released, man? Damn, so this guy was released quite a while ago, and it might just be one of the more slept-on epics, man. Look at his reviews. They're actually, like, pretty okay, to be fair, and I think it's because he's just one of those kind of catch-all epics where if you pull the likes of Quargan early on your account, he's going to be like your healer or sustain champ on your account for a long time. And so for a quick kit breakdown, his A1 is an attack 1 enemy with a chance of increasing the duration of a random buff on a random ally by 1 turn. I mean, it's okay, it's not exactly going to be game-changing, right? The A2 is a heal all allies by 15% of their max HP and place a shield buff equal to 15% of the max HP on all allies for 2 turns. What I really like about this is that you can level your Quargan up to level 50 and just leave him there, because the max HP shield buff that he's placing is based on your champion's max HP, not on Quargan's, right? Which is a good distinction to make. It means that you can level him to 50 and he can do a very good job for you even there in things like faction wars and stuff like that. And then on the A3, place a perfect... Dude, the A3 is crazy. The versatility of this, and this is why he's kind of just good everywhere. Of course, he's going to get phased out as you get like better champs, better legendaries and stuff that are going to specialize in different areas of the game. But this is why I think that he slept on, man. This versatility of this kind of skill, right? It's bookable down to a 4-turn cooldown. Place a perfect veil buff and an increased attack buff, strong version, for 2 turns on all allies whose attack is higher than their defense, right? So basically, all of your nukers are going to get that perfect veil to drastically increase their survivability, and he's bringing the increased attack, but he's also bringing block debuffs for 1 turn and a strong version of increased defense for 2 turns on all allies whose defense is higher than their attack. So all of your support style champs who are more likely to be built with defense, and your provoke tanks and stuff like that, the guys who need the increased defense are going to get the increased defense, and you're not going to be wasting time putting increased attack on your provoke tanks and stuff like that, right? He's just so goddamn versatile. I love this guy as a progression epic. Me personally, you could leave him at 50. I think I'd be taking this guy up to 60 if I pulled this guy in the earlier months of my account. Also because he's landing no debuffs against enemies, right? It's all just shielding and buffs, right? For your other guys. You can just build him to be like as much speed as possible, and then just a whole bunch of survivability, right? Defense stats, max speed. You don't have to worry about accuracy at all, and that's always a lovely, lovely bonus for your support guys. Now I got a confession to make, boys. The way that I make these videos is that whenever a champion catches my eye, I make a note of them for the video, and oftentimes it can go for weeks without me actually making the video, right? I made a note of this champion right here, like 2 weeks ago, Achak the Wendered, and I don't even know why. It's been that long since I made the note that we gotta cover Achak the Wendered that I've forgotten what he even does. So let's just discover with me, if you will, his kit as we break this down, man. So his A1 is an attack 1 enemy, has a 30% chance of decreasing the duration of one random buff if the target is under HP ban. Okay. Also has a 30% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 15% if they are under freeze. Okay. Does he bring freeze and HP ban? Is that why I covered this guy? Okay, let's check out the A2. Place a block debuffs buff on all allies for 1 turn, and a strong strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's okay. It's not bad. It's bookable down to a 4-turn cooldown only, so the block debuffs only being 1 turn duration is a little bit crappy, but strengthen is fine. What does this A3 do? This better blow me away. Okay, so it's bookable down to a 3-turn cooldown, first of all, which is always great. Attack all enemies has a, I guess, 100% chance booked? Ooh, it's not. Actually, 95% chance with masteries and fully booked, I guess. Chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn on enemies whose attack is higher than their defense. Has a 95% chance with masteries of placing a HP ban debuff for 1 turn on enemies whose defense is equal to or higher than their attack. Okay, I get it now. So I think the reason this guy is so good, let me see his spider score, right? Yeah. So this guy is a god in Spider, insofar as I can tell. Why? Because I believe Spiderlings have way higher attack than their defense, so he's actually placing an extremely reliable freeze on all Spiderlings in the Spider's Den, which is awesome. I mean, that alone is just a fantastic amount of control. And then also has that 95% chance of placing HP ban instead. Is that going to be landing against Frost Spider in Doom Tower? I think it is. Also, oh my god, he's goddamn passive. Heal all allies by 5% of the max HP every time an enemy under HP burn debuff gets a 10, so just some passive healing. But dude, look at this. Fill the turn meters of all allies by 10% every time an enemy under freeze debuff gets a 10. Bro, you're freezing like 10, 12, 14 Spiderlings at a time with that A3. You're basically just giving full 10 meter to your entire team as those Spiderlings get a 10. That is crazy as hell. And so basically this is not a 3-turn cooldown skill, even fully booked. This is probably like a 1.8 turn cooldown skill or something completely ridiculous just because of this 10 meter fill, right? That's crazy as hell into Spider. And hey man, it's got to be said, when people are talking about taking on Spider's Den, everybody kind of lauds and hypes up the mass HP burn style champs. And don't get me wrong, they're very, very good, of course. But I think that's something people neglect to talk about is the likes of very, very reliable AoE crowd control for all of the Spiderlings, right? To just let them burn with all those HP burn debuffs, right? So you couple this guy up with an HP burner, and oh my god, dude, that is a game-winning Spider team right there. Okay, I remember why I covered Achak now. What a specialist, dude. Next up, another epic that for some reason looks like a goddamn mythical in terms of appearance. Are you kidding me? With Trumbo's, like, visual design? This guy looks like an absolute deity. Oh my god, man. Might even be a little bit underrated going into Hydra. Solid into Clan Boss. Not bad into Frost Spider as well. Let's break down the kit, man, and see why. Good old Trumbo of the Orcs faction, man. Brings a double hit on the A1, which is Grit. First hit, chance of placing Strong Version Weaken. And second hit has a chance of placing Leech. There's your damn Clan Boss tools, right? Not bad. The A2, he really comes into his own with an attack all enemies, removes 1 random debuff from all allies before attacking, damage increased by 5% for each debuff removed. We don't really, I mean, the bonus damage is nice and all, but it's really about the debuff removal. This is bookable down to a 3-turn cooldown, and you know what, going into Frost Spider, this kind of thing is just awesome for cleansing the freezes of your entire team. Very, very nice. And in fact, of course, if you get his speed tunings right so that he's moving just that little bit slower than the clan boss, then with this being a 3-turn cooldown, you can always have this ready to instantly cleanse the clan boss's stun, which is awesome. And then just to help things along a little bit further, he has the strong version of Ally Protect on his A3 on a 4-turn cooldown and an increased defense buff on himself for a couple of turns as well. So of course, this is only like 2-turn durations and it's only bookable down to a 4-turn cooldown. Maybe you could go ahead and run this guy in something like a Relentless set, Would you go Provoke on this guy? Not sure about that. In fact, going into a Relentless set might accidentally reduce the duration of these buffs, so maybe that's not good either. So get him in that Guardian set, heals him by 10% of his health every turn, which is just recovering some of that health that he's like taking his damage, right, from the Ally Protect being active. And of course, it also just absorbs an extra 10% of damage that the rest of your teammates are taking. This guy is just around to really tank up your team and yeah, take advantage of the debuff removal if and when the time arises. On account of the debuff removal and the Ally Protect, to be honest, might be good to get you started in Hydra as well. And I don't know, man. How could you pull a Trumbo and have a champion that looks this goddamn awesome and not build him? That's all I'm saying, okay? Next up, one of the champs that I pulled just recently, we've got good old Alika, who, dude, I can't wait to use this guy in Tag Arena, even in some live arena if I decide to dare to dip my toes into those waters again. On the A1, she's got a 30% chance of placing an extra hit. That is always critical, so that's lovely. On the A2, it's an attack one enemy will ignore half of the target's defense if their max HP is higher than this champion's max HP. I also want to point out that this skill has a ridiculous damage multiplier at a 6.3, which is crazy as hell. This thing smacks for a single target skill that's also ignoring defense against like most of the targets that she's attacking into, which is just amazing. Even the A1, by the way, just going back to that, it's on a 4.2 attack multiplier. So if you proc the extra hit on this, my god, she is slapping, right? And pretty decent multiplier also on the A3, which is an attack all enemies. It's only a 4 multiplier, but then again, it's an attack all, so there you go. Has a 100% chance bucked, if you can get all of the bucks to go into the A3. Chance of increasing the cooldowns of all enemy skills by 2 turns. This is, of course, fantastic into the likes of any kind of wave content, secret rooms, things like that. Just really limiting what the waves can actually do back to you, which is great when it's taking you a while to get the waves down. But, of course, in Arena, you get a leaker to go first, you can land this skill. It just changes the entire playing field right off of the get-go, right? So, yeah, this A3, a real game changer. The passive, a waste of time. Revives this champion with, 3/4 health when killed. That's great, it's on a 7-turn cooldown, but this skill is only available when you have the rather crappy and underwhelming Sikra on the same team. And Sikra also has to be alive. It's just a lot of conditions. Sikra isn't that great, but there you go, man. That's good old Alika, and man, am I looking forward to building this gal out. And ooh, can I just say that I'm enjoying covering some of these champs that you see covered a little bit less in these top epic champion style videos, man. We're covering the more niche, the more like, I don't know, like A- tier epics at this point that could still be really, really good if they're filling a void on your account, right? Next champ that we're going to be covering is good old Melga Steelgirdle. And can I just say, I love these maces, dude. The shape on these things, are you kidding me? It reminds me of some kind of toy that I used to have as a kid. Can't remember what the hell it was called, but looks just like that. Anyways, man, Melga Steelgirdle, what's she all about? Well, I'm just going to cut straight to the chase, man. The A3 is a double revive, which on an epic champ is obviously really, really good indeed. It's not the best revive. It only revives allies with 20% HP and 20% turn meter, so it's not the greatest. Also places a shield buff on unrevived allies for a couple of turns equal to 30% of their max HP, so maybe it's not so bad on the surface. It is bookable down to a 5-turn cooldown, and as always, any kind of like rare or epic tier reviver that you can collect up in each faction, ideally. You want some kind of low-grade revivers across as many factions as possible so you can take on secret rooms and stuff more easily. Melga is well up there. Going back to the A1, it's an attack one enemy with a chance of removing a random debuff from a random ally, so that's fine. She can't remove debuffs from herself, sadly. And on the A2, place a shield buff on all allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. Also places the continuous heal for a couple of turns as well, so she brings a hell of a lot of sustain. I think the only thing about this, it's also bookable down to a 3-turn cooldown, by the way, so she can be spamming this thing out very consistently and keep it active basically at all times, which is nice. The only thing is that it's based on her max HP, which means that, of course, you're probably going to want to take her all the way up to 60. She's not the kind of support style champ, I think, that you can just leave at level 50, right? Or this shield is going to be very, very underwhelming indeed. I mean, I guess you could just leave her at level 50, to be fair, if you're just using the revive in Faction Wars. I guess that can still be fine and you can still get by, but yeah, it's just something to bear in mind that the shield does scale from her HP and not the HP of the champs whom you are shielding. Next up, another champ that I pulled just recently, and dude, I cannot believe we have not covered Doom Priest yet in this series. What am I doing? What was I thinking? Look at her scores, she's unbelievable. What was that? Unbelievable, man. I forgot how to speak English there for a second, but let's just get to the kit, man. It's really just very, very simple. But, you know, it's actually all about our passive, but we'll touch on everything. So the A1 is a single hit. If the attack is a crit, you can place an increased crit rate buff on a random ally for 2 turns. Really nothing much to this. The A2 is very, very simple as well. 3-turn cooldown, nice and reliable. Basically constantly active, increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Lovely. The passive... This is where it gets serious, man. Just build this gal with as much speed as possible to trigger this passive as much as you can, right? Heal all allies by 7.5% of their HP and remove 1 random debuff from them at the start of this champion's turn. So ignoring, like, I don't know, Sand Devil and Fire Knight, Doom Priest is just amazing everywhere because of this passive. That's it, really. Just constant debuff peel with no cooldown every single time she gets a turn. She requires no accuracy in her kit either, meaning you can just build her to be as fast as possible and then just like decently tanky. She's a really, really good candidate for like a couple of speed pieces and a shield set. Right? If you're looking to use a shield set anywhere in the game, she's great for that. You can build her specifically for clan boss and build it so that she's just like 2 speed slower than whatever clan boss tier you are running her against, so that she is always ready with this debuff removal anytime the clan boss stun comes out, right? The clan boss lands its stun, Doom Priest goes immediately after and just cleanses the stun. Jobs are good. I actually have her at level 40. She's ready to go up to rank 5 and then all the way up to rank 6, of course, as soon as the next champion training event begins. And so I'm really, really excited for that because I need her into the current rotation of Doom Tower against Nether Spider, where the poisons and the poison sensitivities are just killing me, right? I've got the damage to get it done. I just don't have any decent healers. And I'm really, really lacking debuff removal and stuff like that on the champs across my account. Doom Priest is going to help me out. And you know what? She's great into basically everything in the Doom Tower as well. Just a really fantastic epic that, frankly, I'm ashamed. Forgive me for not covering Doom Priest until now in this series, man. All right. Last one. And sticking with the theme of debuff removal, it's going to be Sepulchre Sentinel, which funnily enough, dude, honestly, I covered a lot of these champs recently in a clan boss champs specialist kind of video. That's what Sepulchre Sentinel is all about. I think I've talked about her on the channel before, but not in a top epics video. And you know what? I think she deserves to be here, frankly. The A1, attack 1 enemy, she's got that good, is a 60% chance bucked of placing strong version of decrease attack, which is awesome. Of course, this is like a required debuff to bring into clan boss. On the A2, she's got strong version of increased defense and block debuffs that lasts for 2 turns, okay? So you can book this down to a 4-turn cooldown. You can speed tune her just right so that, again, she always has this ready to roll just before the boss attacks in with its stun. In order to do that against, like, Nightmare, I think Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, you want to run her at about 205 to 210 true speed. So that's like after speed auras and stuff like that. And then her attacks will come in just perfectly so that she's always using this A3 just before the boss swings in with its stun, which is just sweet. And to top it all off, her passive just gives good consistent value no matter what content you run her in, right? Has a 25% chance of completely blocking incoming damage when an ally is attacked. Can only occur once per turn, but yeah, just very, very good. And this is bookable up to like what? Damn, this is bookable up to a 50% chance of this effect occurring. Really, really nice stuff. And that is why Sepulchre Sentinel is not just good as a very, very kind of early game good starter champ. Not even necessarily a super early game champ, to be honest. She can carry her weight for quite a while on your account into Demon Lord, right? And a clan boss, but she's honestly just pretty decent into a lot of areas of the game. And there you have it, man. 8 more epic champs that I can't believe went on the list just yet. If you check out that list down below in the description box and you see any epics that we're totally sleeping on in this series, make sure to plop them down below in the comments, man. And maybe, dude, I've said like 5 times now that this is probably the last video we're going to do in this series, and then like a month later we make another one, you know, because we uncover some more hidden gems or just epics that I forgot to cover and stuff like that. So keep the suggestions coming, guys. Anyways, for now, thanks for watching. If you're looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends account, a new free-to-play adventure or something like that, make sure to do so by clicking on the promo link down below at the top of the video description box. Doing so will kickstart your new account with my promo link, earning you a free epic champion in the form of good old, where is she? Juliana, as well as a whole bunch of additional starting rewards, and it also helps to support the channel too, man. So hell, I'd really, really appreciate if you use that link when starting off a new Raid account. For now, thanks for watching, and I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.